So what I love about Chuck Norris, first of all, we're not really sure he's dead because he may have killed the Grim Reaper, right? That may be what actually happened.
If anybody can.
It's gonna be Chuck Norris. But that is one of the things that I love about him is he was a meme before that was really a thing, right? He was like the original meme, and he embraced it.
The other pseudo hot lesbian moment, I can't believe we're talking about this on the show, was Jennifer Tilly and
Gina Gerson?
Yes.
Well,
I mean,
we're only so human.
if you would actually sit down and listen to a Cuban and they tell you about their lived experience, maybe you wouldn't have such a tone-deaf attitude and be talking about things that you just don't know about or things that you want to sort of manipulate to fit a bigger narrative. Eso mismo. Anyway, the show, no, the
showdown?
No, not the here comes the something. Anyway, everybody, welcome to episode 381 of Pero Let Me Tell You.
381.
¿Cómo anda todo el mundo?
I think everybody's okay. They're better than I am.
Why?
Yo tengo un reflujo.
Oh my God.
I've had reflux for the last 3 days, and aside from feeling it right here, me lo siento aquí también.
Cómete una toronja.
Does that cure it?
I don't know.
Oh.
I just felt like saying toronja.
I do not like toronja.
I love toronja. You don't like toronja juice?
No, it's too bitter.
A ruby red?
Too bitter.
Oh my God, that is so good and tart.
No, it's not tart. It's bitter. Lemon is tart. That's bitter.
You know, as somebody who loves food and cooks, I have a hard time between bitter and sour.
Like distinguishing?
Yeah, I could do it, but it takes me a while.
Well, yeah, you don't think of it's not like a sweet and bitter sauce.
It's the same energy as the difference between a crocodile and an alligator.
It's there,
Who
but
knows?
It's there, but
I don't know which one's which. When I say that's a crocodile or that's an alligator, it's a 50-50 shot.
Honestly, it's just the first one you thought of.
Yeah.
Right,
so I'll just say, like, look at that crocodile. It's probably an alligator. But again, I'm going to shoot my shot. It's a 50-50 shot. So, Junior, do you know the difference between a crocodile and an alligator?
El cocodrilo es más cubano because it can go in el agua salada. It can go saltwater. Saltwater crocs exist.
I know it's something with their snout. One has wider and the other one is longer. But don't ask me which is which.
And I love how they call it in Spanish. Un caimán. I just thought it was the Cayman Islands.
I know.
But that's why the symbol of the Cayman Islands is a little crocodile.
There we go. It all comes full circle.
Yeah. So for those of you watching us today, I want to call out Junior. Junior is, we love Junior. Today, I told him before we started recording, he's wearing that nasty hat with that nasty team. So we're going to,
all families have squabbles.
And he always wears his hats backwards, but today he's not wearing it backwards. So I get to see that nasty little symbol, for the next hour.
Riled up.
Yeah.
I can turn it around.
No.
Another character.
No, Junior, no. Don't
I'll put it this way, because this is exactly why I'm wearing it, because of Big Papi. Do you know Big Papi? Big Papi.
Big Papi.
David Ortiz.
He's not dead.
I was going to say, did he die?
No, he did.
Okay.
This is from his Hall of Fame ceremony. And I thought, at the very least, that DJ can put his differences to the side. And the avid ballpark traveler and historian that he is and all of that loves all of this stuff, this is history,
There are fewer things that make Darien petty than that.
So I want to tell you something about what you just said. Welcome to Sports Corner on Pero Let Me Tell You. We never talk about sports. So for those of you who don't know, I've brought it up in the show many times. I'm a ballpark aficionado. I'm more of a baseball historian. Well, I played baseball till I was 16, but I'm very much about the history of baseball and ballpark specifically. So my goal is to go to every single MLB ballpark. I've been to 26 out of 29-30 because there's a few. Tampa, we had an issue with Tampa.
The rebranding.
Whatever, yeah. And Oakland right now is not playing and whatever. Anyway, I've been to 26 of them, so I've been to a lot of them. So every time I go to a ballpark, I buy the mini bats. Each one of them has a mini bat with obviously the team logo and all that. So I collect these little Slugger, Louisville Slugger bats. It's a keepsake. So I have them all. However, when I went to Fenway Park, and I will give credit where credit is due, Fenway Park is an amazing ballpark. It was built in 1912, 1913. So it's the oldest ballpark in the MLB, very well preserved. When I went to Fenway Park, I was like, I am not going to have something with that nasty logo in my house. So instead, I bought a baseball bat that they sold there that was green for the teal monster. Right. The green monster, the teal monster was here. It was a green monster. And that is my bat. It doesn't say Boston Red Sox. It doesn't say anything because I wasn't going to have that nasty little logo in my house. So that is how far my pettiness with that team goes. And I just want to say for anybody who's been to Fenway Park, I would love to direct you to the championship wall where they have all their World Series. They have 1904, 1906, 1910, 1914, 2004. So there was a big old gap there that the Yankees did not have because we've won 27 World Series. But I'm just going to let it go because, sometimes facts hurt. So let's move right along.
All right, cool story. Look, the hat's on backwards. You win.
No, you wear that hat how you want to, damn it. We're in America.
I'm wearing it for Big Papi, and look, I still get to shout out.
We're in America.
Papi, okay?
You do
So
what
the first time I went to Fenway Park, I took a tour of Fenway Park, and I went decked out in Yankees gear. And the tour guide was like, "Welcome everyone to Fenway Park, except that nasty Yankees fan."
Yeah, that's almost how he died.
And then I went to a Yankee Boston game in Boston, and again I went out in full Yankees gear, and I was brave enough to sit.
How are you even here?
I was brave enough to sit in what was predominantly a Red Sox section. But what saved me was that there was a girl like one or two rows from me that she was a New York fan, and she looked like Snooki. So they kept making fun of her during the whole
Maybe
game.
It was.
No, it wasn't Snooki, but she looked like Snooki. And they sort of ignored me, and I was like, okay, that's fine. I mean, as petty and whatever I can be about hating the Red Sox, it can't be me against 1,000.
No, there's a limit to your power.
Yeah, there's a limit to I was gonna be overwhelmed there, so
very much so.
Yeah.
So hata mina want Gladys at the end of Weapons.
Yeah. Oh no, but I was talking shit. I was like, finish them off, motherfuckers. Whatever. So anyway, let's move right along.
Best part about that is that he goes out of his way during this show to be like, those MFers, what the F? And now he has just lost it all.
Because I said it.
The passion of the hatred has come out.
Gongana. And this segment goes out to my friend Julio. I'll just leave it at that. Anyway, so how are you doing? Well, other than acid reflux.
Other than my reflux that I had to go and get prescription for.
Okay, so I actually wanted to bring up something that this is a sort of a wait, hold on. Before we do, Junior, you're 22 seconds.
That's right. Hold on.
Welcome to Junior's 22 seconds. Because if not, Roger is going to
hear it. Yes.
Whatever.
Yes, Roger will then not bring us key lime pie.
Roger is not here, but he's here.
He's ever present.
Isn't he always?
It's true. All right. When are you ready, sir? Huh? Let me know when you're ready so I can set the timer. 1, 2, go.
Pretty light weekend this weekend. Friday, we dusted off the stuff for Steph because she was doing a photo shoot this weekend. And if you want to take pictures with her, SM Prez or Dottie Deeds, look her up on Instagram. Saturday, we did not do anything. I helped my dad out with a Jeep. That's pretty much it there. Sunday, a lot of cleaning. It's been a boring weekend for me. I'm just going to load up the 22 seconds here. Just happy to be here. Thanks for having me. All right. No reflux here. Thank you for the fare, everybody. Yeah.
27 seconds.
I want to ask more about the Jeep.
Oh, well, now it turned into 5 minutes.
27 seconds, sir.
The Jeep. My dad's dream car is either a little red convertible like a Mazda 3, Mazda Miata, and a Jeep that he can, as he says, encuerar. Take the doors off.
A Wrangler?
Yeah. So just recently, his little project thing has been a 2004 Jeep, and this guy was walking his French Bulldog and tried to buy the Jeep off my dad, and he goes, hermano, yo estoy en estos 25 años.
Oh, Jesus.
Sigue caminando con el perro y no me preguntes eso otra vez si me ves trabajando en esto. God bless it, Jati. And that guy was a tremendo asshole, though. We've had a bunch of run-ins with him. But yeah, that's the story about the Jeep. What else do you want to know?
Okay. What color is the Jeep?
Black.
Nice.
Y se encuera.
Yeah.
You know, Jeep is like the only car I think would ever looks good in like a burnt umber or like an orange.
Was not expecting that comment.
Like that's the only car I can think of that is like that color works on a Jeep. Other like, you know, like a VW Bug, no. You know, a Mercedes, no.
No. Okay.
No. But,
well, I'm glad that your dad is being able to encuerar a Jeep. I mean, you can. Le quitas las cuatro puertas y le quitas el techo. I mean, who else can you do that to? You know what cars don't have anymore? T-tops. They don't have T-tops. What car nowadays has a T-top?
You're right.
First of all, you have to be over 40 to remember what a T-top is, or over 35. Camaros had T-tops, Trans Ams, Mustangs.
They just don't exist anymore.
No, damn the T-tops. Yeah.
Ta T-tops.
Yeah. Anyway, well, thank you, Junior, for your weekend recap.
Thank you for your time.
You know, SNL has the weekend update. We have the weekend recap with Junior.
Junior's weekend recap.
And it's especially
SNL update. This past weekend, SNL UK just
I heard.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm surprised they hadn't done that before.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because the British don't do improv. No, it's not true, because whose
but
line
the-
is it?
But the
started
British
over there?
are like kings of comedy.
No, but yeah, and
British
whose,
humor.
whose line is it started over there? So you know what? I take that back.
So I wanted to bring up, because when I saw this in the news this week, I immediately thought, this is something I want to bring up on the podcast because to get your reaction. Okay. So this weekend it came out on the news. It was everywhere that everybody's, favorite redhead, Chappell Roan, had another incident with a fan. This time it was the 11-year-old niece of Jude Law, and she was with, I forget his name. She was with her godfather. Or
I don't know,
but she was with in the care of
the daughter, Jude Law's daughter.
Jude Law's daughter, in the care of, or Jude Law's her godfather. Anyway, there's a Jude Law connection.
Okay.
Pero ella estaba with this, I forgot his name, this football player that's very, very famous in Brazil. And apparently he went online, and his version of the story was that the little girl apparently wanted to go up to Chappell Roan. She had seen her. And then she went around 2 times, because at first she was like, is that her?
Right.
And then she went around a second time, and apparently she wanted to approach her to say hi. And she was sort of like whisked away by security, and like a whole big thing happened. Right. And the guy, the football player, again, he has millions of followers on Instagram, went online to say that, she should be nicer to her fans, that she could have just waved at her or acknowledged her, so on and so forth. One of the reasons why that has made news is because Chappell Roan in particular has been making the news a lot recently for having certain interactions with fans and paparazzis and things like that. And a lot of people are saying, there's sort of two trains of thought with this. One of them are saying like she's being very vocal about her boundaries.
Right.
And it's like, I am a celebrity and a public figure, but I do require boundaries. And other people are sort of the train of thought of like, listen, 2 years ago, nobody knew who you were. And now you have a lot of fans. So you should be appreciative of your fans and do things with your fans. So when I heard that, I was like, I can't wait to bring that up because I know you have opinions about that.
I do have opinions about that. I kind of straddle the line, right? And I'm still gonna throw like super secret number, third option in there, which is we also don't know. And again, we weren't there. In those instances, sometimes the way I heard the story told by you right now is security may have literally just whisked her away. So sometimes these celebrities are in these situations where like before they even kind of know what's happening, they're being like...
That's what she says. She says she didn't see the little girl, but then this guy's giving a completely different story.
Right. So the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. With that said, I actually agree with her to the extent that like just because you're a celebrity doesn't mean that you are... It's open season, right? I also think it depends on the context in which she was there, because if this was she's at a concert situation or at an award show or something, you're on. You know what I mean? That's you're at work. Let's put it that way, right? You're at work and there's a certain maybe expectation of what you're going to deliver. So I think if she was just walking, I don't know, at like a 7-Eleven or something, then that's one thing. But if she was at like an event, I think that's an area where you have to sort of just be, you know what, I'm the celebrity right now.
There's a video of her, because the thing is that I think it's also been, you know how it is, like cuando la cogen con algo, they create a narrative. There's a video of her that went viral a few weeks ago when it was Paris Fashion Week. She was there, which is a very high covered event, right? There's a lot of celebrities in one place.
In that,
and she was, I don't know if she was getting out of her car, going to a restaurant or whatever. She was going somewhere with her team. And when she gets off the car, there was a bunch of paparazzis there. So she got her phone and she was live streaming. She's like, look at all these paparazzis around me. Look at them not, trying to like evade my personal space. And it's like, okay, but you were in a public area getting down from your car in a very
public
this
scenario.
wasn't like a regular day in Paris. This was like, and she was very like, look at them all around me. Like, I have boundary. It's like you made a bigger deal about it by doing that than if you would have just walked in and ignored them.
But I will say, in that case, we're talking about the paparazzi, which is that's another different scenario, right? Because look, we were all there for the 2000s, right? Where these people made all of these girls' lives a living hell.
Yeah.
So that's one thing versus a fan coming up to you.
Right. But you also, I think, and again, we're not celebrities, so we don't know.
Listen, the other day I was at the St. Patrick's Day Carnival Festival thing in Coral Gables, and two people came up to me and were like, oh my God, you're from Pero Let Me Tell You. And I was like, how many pictures do you want?
Yeah.
I was like, let's take all of them.
Obviously we don't know what it's like to have people after you. And you do have to be very, very sensitive of people's privacy, but again, it's all time and place.
Exactly.
And paparazzi is something that is going to come with the territory, because mira, there have been videos that have gone viral, for example, of Anne Hathaway that I actually agree with, that she gets out of the car and she tells people, okay, I will greet each one of you. I don't have time for a selfie. Let's do this in an ordered way. And the paparazzi are there. Right? So she has some type of supporter. And like, there are people criticizing her for that. And I'm like, no, she is setting her boundaries.
Everybody gets what they want.
Right. I'm gonna shake your hand. I'm gonna sign whatever. I may not be able to take a selfie with each person, but I am going to make time for each one of you. Let's do it in an orderly fashion, because she is making an effort to meet the fans, but she's also not letting them, inundate her and like overwhelm her.
I think that also comes with time, right? Because
you know the thing about her is, and
Chappell?
Yes, about Chappell Roan is that Chappell Roan, I know she has a really big fan base and very loyal fans, but she does not. Maybe she's a lovely girl, right? But publicly, at least, she comes off a little harsh.
She doesn't seem warm and fuzzy.
Yeah.
For lack of a better way of putting it.
And maybe she is, because, a lot of these things are very much perception and when they want to build a narrative about you, they do. And maybe most of the time it's inaccurate. Right. But again, with her, she comes across very not like a little difficult,
not approachable,
right? Not approachable, right? Not approachable. Yeah. And again, it may not be true. Right. She may be a great person. And again, it's good that she stands up for herself,
right?
But it's very hard. It's a juggling act.
It's a balancing act for sure. But here's my question. And again, I'm assuming that whoever this kid's godfather is, like you said, it was like a footballer. So it's somebody who has a certain level of celebrity. I also kind of have an issue, and it's weird because I don't have an issue when common folk like us do it, but when like celebrities take their beef to the internet, to social media, like that, or actually just recently this week, and this is a very weird one, Brenda Song, London, who's married to Macaulay Culkin, went online on Twitter or whatever to talk shit about Alaska Airlines because they moved her without telling her from her first class seat and separated her from her kids and her family.
Oh no.
And I'm like,
but that
comes off a little
she's London.
Up. First of all, you're London Tipton.
Yeah.
You should
have a
whole
hotel chain.
You should have your private jet. But but in those moments, it seems a little tone deaf.
So
right?
who's in your Disney Mount Rushmore? You know what I'm asking you that, right?
That's the thing going around now, isn't it?
So there's this thing that went viral that they asked Raven Simone who the Disney Mount Rushmore was, and she said her, Hilary Duff, and Shia LaBeouf.
Okay, but Rushmore is 4 people, right?
She mentioned somebody else.
Okay, no. I'm trying to think because I want to go. Okay, I would say actually, you know what? Raven, Hilary Duff. I would say Miley Cyrus, and then I'm gonna cheat because I'm gonna say Zach and Cody as my 4th because they're twins. They shared a uterus. They can share a spot on Mount Rushmore.
Okay. I just have one person on my Mount Rushmore for Disney.
But that's not a Mount Rushmore. That's just you talking about Demi Lovato.
It's
like
Demi
always.
Demi Lovato. It's Demi Lovato and Sunny with a Chance. It's Demi Lovato and Camp Rock. Demi Lovato and Camp Rock 2. And Demi Lovato, what else has she done for Disney? Doing the ears.
She did something else. Oh, the Princess Protection Program.
Oh, yeah. When she was a princess.
Yes,
yeah. Okay, so.
There we go.
Yeah. Do you have 4 different?
What a boring Mount Rushmore.
Not for me.
It's just the same.
No. But actually, no. Wait, hold on. Because then if I don't want to get into a whole Wilmer Valderrama. Because Wilmer Valderrama and I are the same age. I don't want to get. No, I think he's older than us.
Not by much, though.
I don't want to get into that whole territory because there's a whole song about that.
Yeah. Fair enough.
17, 29.
I like Wilmer.
Oh, I like him too, but.
Yeah. If he ever comes on the show, you can't ask him about that. Okay.
Be like, Wilmer, I just want to talk about Demi Lovato.
You can ask him off camera. And we won't tell anyone anything else. I love Demi. Be like, what was she like in person? I don't know why I made you so
That's not
creepy.
what I would ask him.
I'm trying to not make you sound creepy.
No, when she was in her 20s.
Either way, it'd
20s.
be creepy to ask what I'm thinking you're thinking to ask.
I wanted to ask him what he thought about her doing jiu-jitsu.
Oh, okay. Clearly, yes.
Yes. So
he wasn't with her for the melon cake, right?
He wasn't.
He doesn't strike me as somebody who would have a melon cake. He's not swollen.
He wasn't. And I do want her cookbook. So
I can't think of anybody who I don't know. I don't think of food when I think of Demi Lovato, of all people.
If Bae wants me to think of food, I'll think of food.
Sure.
I'm going to make her cookies. Apparently, she has a really good salsa recipe and a really good honeymoon pasta. Anyway, let's move on from Demi. From Bae.
From Bae. Yes, moving on from Bae. So
Bae with a capital B-A-E in caps.
Oh, so it's all caps.
Yeah, Bae is all caps.
So it's Bae.
Sure.
Okay.
If you want to see, I have said this. You want to see, look up Demi Lovato's performance at the VMAs in 2017. That's all I have to tell you. And then
what did she perform?
Well, she performed in 2017. She performed Sorry Not Sorry, but she also performed, was for YouTube. She performed Cool for the Summer. That's all I have to say.
That song about seasonal lesbianism.
Sure.
That's what that song is about.
Sure.
Some people get seasonal depression. She gets seasonal lesbianism.
I mean, it happens to all of us. I got it in the 2019 Grammys with Dua Lipa.
We all did.
Have you ever seen that, Junior?
What?
Okay, in the 2019 Grammys, Dua Lipa performed with, what was her name? Saint Vincent.
Saint Vincent.
And they did a mashup of their 2 songs.
Right. It was very stripped down, like just.
And they were sort of dressed similar, and they had similar hairstyles.
Right.
And it was sort of like
it was sexy.
There
but
was
not
like sexual tension,
but it wasn't overt.
I mean, it was on freaking CBS, so it wasn't anything. And I'm like, oh my God, I think I'm a lesbian because it was so hot. Like it didn't matter who you are or what you were into.
It was sexy as fuck.
You can't deny that wasn't sexy because there was so much like tension, you know. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Afterwards, I went to Home Depot. I bought flannel.
You drove a Subaru.
I drove a Subaru. I bought the Lilith Fair soundtrack. Just all of it.
I think the last moment like that was the Dido. All the things you said, all the things you said.
That's Tattoo.
Tattoo.
That's
Sorry.
Tattoo.
Yes. Dido was no.
Dido was I will go down with this ship.
Or
my tears don't
and
come
I thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
No.
So tattoo.
No. The other pseudo hot lesbian moment, I can't believe we're talking about this on the show, was Jennifer Tilly and
Gina Gerson.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we're only so human. I mean, Gina Gerson, that's just like oozing in like hot sex, and Jennifer Tilly, who's just like, "Hi, I'm Jennifer Tilly, and my tits are here."
But Jennifer Tilly was one of these women that she didn't have to be sexy; she just was.
No, I saw her on a panel once, and I was like, "You're not even trying to be
Do
sexy."
you know what scene I'm talking about, Junior?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. Well, all of Bound.
I think.
Yes.
I think a lot of people.
What do you mean? What scene? The entire movie is the scene.
No, but I'm thinking of a certain scene.
No, I know, but all of it.
All of it. This segment was brought to you by Subaru,
And
where 4x4 is a way of life.
and you know who wrote and directed that movie, Bound?
Who?
The Wachowskis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
They went from that to the Matrix?
As one does.
Like, I would have never
Well, there
thought
was a lot
that.
of black leather in both.
How does one go from that to the Matrix?
Well, listen, if there's one thing the Wachowskis are good at, it's transitions.
That is very true. Te la comiste. You left no crumbs.
No crumbs, no crumbs, as the kids say.
Speaking of transitions, what were you going to bring up?
So I was gonna bring up something. I mean, it's not like fun, but we lost someone this week who was iconic. Chuck Norris passed away, and
Yes.
so what I love about Chuck Norris. First of all, we're not really sure he's dead because he may have killed the Grim Reaper. Right, that may be what actually happened.
If anybody can.
It's gonna be Chuck Norris. But that is one of the things that I love about him is he was a meme before that was really a thing, right? He was like the original meme, and he embraced it.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Like he was totally here for it, and I think that is that. And I've actually been listening to this audiobook called "The Last Action Heroes," which is actually it's about the Arnold and Sylvester Stallone rivalry, but it also throws in like Chuck Norris and Van Damme and Bruce Willis and all of that, and it's narrated by Bronson Pinchot.
What?
Yeah,
By
Balki Bartakomus, yes.
What?
But his voice is so soothing.
What? Balki is hosting a podcast?
No, it's not a podcast.
An
It's an
audiobook
It's an audiobook
about action heroes of the 90s?
Yep.
Okay.
And it's great. It's great. But, listening to it, he goes into like the background of all these guys. And it's just like, Chuck Norris, based on what I'm hearing, just always seemed like just a guy who just had ambition, but would have been just as happy being, a CPA. Like there was something so
Yeah, but he could do a roundhouse kick.
That's true. But what I mean
What
is,
mere mortal can?
aside from Jean-Claude Van Damme, but that's what I mean. Like the thing about Chuck Norris is that he always just seemed like the everyday action hero. Like he'd done all of his stunts in like khakis
And his red hair.
and the red hair and like a jean vest.
You know who could have been bigger?
Who?
The guy who played Crocodile Dundee.
Paul Hogan?
It's a meme.
Maybe he was huge in Australia.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it because the thing about Chuck Norris is that Chuck Norris looked like an everyday person.
Yeah.
Like,
Down to the red hair.
yeah.
Like there was nothing.
He didn't look like a celebrity. He didn't look like a movie star.
No, at all.
Yeah.
Or a TV star. Because
Yeah.
I think Walker was on for 73 years.
Yeah.
Like it's still on. Walker had a freaking reboot.
I don't even know about that show.
Well, I know it existed.
I've heard about the show.
It was him and was that the one with him and Cheech Maring, or was Cheech Maring in the one with Don Johnson?
That would be Miami Vice.
No, Don Johnson had another show in like the 90s, I think, late 90s. Oh, whatever. Anyway, but yeah, no, I just, Chuck Norris, it's an icon.
Yeah. I can't say
Nash
I was like,
Bridges.
Thank you.
Cheech Marin and Don Johnson.
And Don
Yes.
John, thank you. Okay.
That show was it's CBS.
Right. Oh, yeah.
The CBS shows are the ones that are on for like an eternity, and you know they're on. You don't know anybody that watches them, but they're on.
I love Jennifer Love Hewitt. Never saw one episode of Ghost Whisperer.
Nope.
Thing was on for like 6 years.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's your favorite from that time?
Of those action heroes?
Mine was Arnold.
I'm going to go with Arnold.
It's not a tumor.
I'm going to go with Arnold because Arnold is, at the end of the day, is such a just... Look, he's had his share of controversies, but he is such a just ray of like positivity and like, if you believe it, you can.
You know what?
Be it.
He's had his share of controversies, but in today's day and age,
Oh, it's not a big deal.
like what? He had a kid with the maid.
With a housekeeper.
Yeah,
exactly.
I
Like,
mean
okay.
that sucked because he was
Maria.
married. It sucked for Maria Shriver.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, whatever.
But he
kept
acknowledged
it
the
together.
kid.
But in the grand scheme of things, especially nowadays with everything going on, it's like what controversy?
Give me an old-fashioned adulterer.
Yes. It's like, remember when politicians used to have to resign because they had like an affair?
What was the guy that was caught on his boat with the was it, oh my god,
Gary Hart.
Thank you. That's exactly who I was thinking.
the
Gary
80s?
Hart. Yes, Gary Hart. Yeah.
I always remember, what was his name? The guy that was the mayor of DC that in the 90s he got caught smoking crack
Barry.
cocaine.
Marion Barry.
Marion Barry. He got caught smoking crack cocaine in a hotel with a prostitute, with a sex worker.
Yes.
And
We long for those days.
and then he had to resign, and then a few years later he ran again and won.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess Whitney was wrong.
I was like Rob Ford, mayor of Toronto. There's a Netflix doc on him
That's
as well.
right. He was another one that
Caught
was like caught,
smoking
No,
something,
él
yeah.
acabó. Like he was bad. It was bad news. And again, you know what? I'm okay with that. Like bring back those days.
That was the worst.
Yeah, give me a little crack and a hooker. Just
Please don't make that the real.
We got it.
Please don't make that the real.
lock it in, and then follow it up. It'll end with Darien like, please don't make that the real. Like that. That's the full circle.
Oh boy. Yeah, no, I liked Arnold. I liked them all. I remember I went to go see Tango and Cash in the movie theater. I was like a little kid. Sometimes I wonder, how did I get into all these movies when I was a little kid?
Because
did they even check?
No, they didn't care back then.
Like,
No, they didn't care. We were all going to see like Predator and Commando and shit, and it was like rated R. You're probably just a little person. Go on.
I remember I saw The Living Daylights, James Bond, The Living Daylights at the General Cinema on Bird Road, which later became Super Saver Cinemas and now is Leon Medical Center.
You want to talk about an evolution?
You want to talk about a transition? Today's episode is brought to you by the letter T. T for transition. T for testosterone.
Kudos, sir. I tip my hat.
Tea. It's just not the thing you drink.
It's not. It's not just what's for dinner.
I liked Kindergarten Cop. It was a good movie.
It was a fun. Again, the thing with Arnold is that he has a sense of humor too.
Yeah.
And so he could do the action. He could do the funny.
You know that I feel that they wanted to use Arnold's playbook with Vin Diesel, but somehow it didn't work. Because Vin Diesel was probably like, look, I'm gonna do I'm gonna do my Fast and Furious movies. I'm gonna make millions of dollars of it, and I don't have to do anything else. So why am I trying to do these other movies?
Yeah. Vin Diesel was probably just like, is it about family?
Yeah.
No, then I'm not doing it.
No, because remember that movie where he was a babysitter?
The pacifier.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was a goose in that movie, right? Or geese.
There was a bird. Yes. I'm gonna go. It had a long neck, so I'm assuming geese. Yes. I'm gonna go with yes. That's the takeaway from that movie. Yeah. That there was a goose.
Yeah. I'll never forget when Triple X came out. My father told me, ay, Darien, en el cine están enseñando películas de relajo. Shit porn. And I'm like, no, Dad. It's Triple X by Vin Diesel. Because I remember he kept seeing the ads for it. Oh, that's another thing. Isn't it funny that in Spanish, did your parents call it that? Películas de relajo.
Well, not mine, because
Did yours, Junior?
Yep.
They call it like relajo is so different than pornography.
Yeah, like a relajo movie could be like a screwball comedy.
Benny Hill.
Benny Hill could be relajo. Absolutely could be relajo.
They used to say relajo more for like the teen comedies or like the American Pies and Porky's and those types.
Right, but that to me is that's
But
relajo.
then
right.
yes, a porno they would drop the strong P. Esa pornografía, you know. And I do remember that being at Mall of the Americas at the movie theater there for summer camp, and then on the same marquee, XXX. Y ahora van a tener películas de pornografía aquí. That's what it was. Se perdió la cosa.
Morales están por el piso.
Se perdió todo.
Yes.
Because that's the thing with my father. My father knows enough about American culture to get certain things, but he usually gets them. He could recognize them, but he usually gets them wrong.
Okay, but in his defense, if you see Triple X on a marquee,
right, but
your instinct is not
but if I
Diesel.
saw a commercial for it or an ad, I would right away know.
Okay, fair enough.
That it's something else.
See, I'm giving your father the credit that he maybe saw it on like a marquee.
No.
You know, like in Times Square.
No.
You know, live.
As I've said here before, one of my dad's favorite shows was Newlywoods with Jessica and Nick.
That's true.
He was so Junior. He was so invested into Newlywoods. Like,
you should get him an autobiography. Signed, yes.
I know what it is.
To Robert from Jess.
See, I think that I found out that they were getting divorced from my dad.
I have no doubt.
He calls me.
Oíste.
¿Oíste quién se separó, divorció? And I'm like, ¿quién? Jessica y el marido.
I know that he got second billing.
Yeah, no, he knows Jessica Simpson. He doesn't know Nick Lachey.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. He knows que ese es el muchacho que estaba casado con Jessica.
Yeah. Okay.
Con Jessica Simpson.
And he says Jessica como si fuera Jessica
Sí, Jessica
Mendoza,
sí.
Ámbar.
Yeah. Jessica da prima.
They go way back. You know, he too will love her forever.
Oh boy. So
all right, well, let's take a quick break. We can recoup ourselves, get a signed copy of Jessica's book for your father.
Sure.
We'll be right back.
it's that time of the year again. Time to go absolutely wild. That's right. It's the fair. And this year's theme is Wild About the Fair. From March 12th through April 5th, enjoy your favorite annual Miami tradition with 87 thrilling rides to conquer and make you roar. Plus, you know we're here for all the food, and this year there's over 135 food stands to hunt down adventurous new bites like elote gone wild, Biscoff cookie butter cheesecake funnel cake, and the berry wild pop tart sundae. Así que get wild about the fair starting March 12th and visit fairexpo.com for info on tickets, hours, and more. And you know we gotta say it, be there, the fair.
All right, mi gente, Ish here, and we are back again with Andres Ayesta on behalf of Florida Dairy. And today, we're actually going to be talking about the role of dairy in our lifespan, right? We all hear as a kid, you got to drink dairy, you got to have milk, you got to have the calcium, but it doesn't end in childhood, right, Andres?
No, it doesn't. In fact, Ish, like if we break down different like sections of our lifespan, dairy supports critical nutrient needs throughout all of them. So if we break it down, for example, in infancy, which is 0 to 12 months, well, usually breast milk or formula, they provide all the necessary dairy-based nutrients. And cow milk proteins, whey, and casein typically tend to be the basis for a lot of infant formulas when they need them. Then we have early childhood, which is, again, where my son typically lands, 1 to 5 years. And this is where it's also very important to start incorporating. For example, my son, he gets whole milk, and we give that to him like, you know, almost every day. Sometimes it's yogurt with a fruit snack or something like that. Maybe some cheese sticks like in his lunch boxes, milk-based smoothies. Those are really, really great options to incorporate. And he goes on like, you know, through different kinds of stages, like, you know, middle childhood, pre-adolescence, teenage years, and into adulthood. So Ish, you and I, we still need to be consuming dairy? And one interesting thing about it is like a lot of times we stop to consume too much of that as we age, and we still need to be having that. In fact, the current dietary guidelines that just got renewed, they still emphasize the importance of incorporating dairy as part of a healthy diet. So it's, again, not just important when we're younger, but also important as we grow older for all the nutrients, not only protein, calcium, and all the benefits that we get from all those nutrients that we find in milk.
Yeah, and the beauty of it is we are growing older, but we're still young at heart, right? We're still youthful. But I guess my question is, is there a required amount as we get older, right? Do we need more? Do we need less? Can we keep enjoying the same amount?
We technically can. Usually the guidelines they kind of establish that we can probably consume 2 to 3 servings of dairy on a daily basis. Again, there's no limits or essentially minimum requirements, but that's the recommendation. And that doesn't really change much throughout different, stages of life. I do personally recommend 2 to 3 servings, and then it could be different things. It doesn't have to be just milk. It could be a glass of milk. It could be, again, some Greek yogurt. It can be some cottage cheese or different kinds of, dairy or dairy byproducts, which can be supportive of incorporating some servings of dairy throughout the day.
And I love it because we could basically put that Greek yogurt into overnight oats, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it lets us, you can put a little honey in there. You can just really give that performance recovery period too.
Yeah. So it's so important. And again, at the same time, it's so versatile. You can add it to so many different things. The other day I made some mac and cheese and we added some cottage cheese and a little bit of milk in it.
Really?
And some, it's amazing. And it's sort of like a higher protein mac and cheese. My son loves his morning blueberry banana smoothies, and we add usually about a cup of milk in there. So that's where he gets a lot of his protein. And then again, that really drinks whatever he's not drinking. So I also get the same serving as that as well. So again, we enjoy it equally. And I think that's so important and where we emphasize it so much, not only with my son, but also me and my wife, we tend to include it on a daily basis very regularly.
That's awesome. Well, look, you've given us a lot of information and you've given us a lot of options on how we can consume dairy on a day-to-day basis. So for more information, you can visit floridamilk.com. And again, thank you for joining us, Andres.
Thank you for having me, Ish.
You guys know I'm a total gym rat. From stress relief to looking good in a tank top, working out is just plain good for us. But you know what helps supercharge your system post-workout? Chocolate milk. That's right. A serving of chocolate milk post-gym can help muscles recover and rehydrates with fluids and electrolytes within 30 to 60 minutes after exercise. And milk has 6 essential immune-supporting nutrients: vitamin A and D, zinc, selenium, iodine, and protein, which we know everyone is trying to pack in more of these days. Así que whether you're getting your cardio or pumping iron, remember, just 1 serving of chocolate milk can help muscles repair and grow deliciously. For more info on how dairy can help your fitness goals, visit floridamilk.com or lechedeflorida.com. Who knew chocolate milk could be so beneficial? Florida Dairy. That's who.
And we're back. I wanna love you forever.
And this is all I'm asking of you.
10,000 lives times together.
Is that too much for you to do?
I don't know the rest.
I'm surprised I know that much because I can't tell you the last time I heard that song.
Jessica Simpson's greatest hits.
Actually, you know what? She could fill up a greatest hits easily with at least 10 songs.
Remember when people needed multiple volumes of greatest hits?
Yeah. And now, actually, we made certain listeners realize that greatest hits are not a thing anymore.
They're not.
Yeah.
They're not.
They're not. Albums are barely a thing anymore.
What's an album?
Yeah. Yeah, the other day I was wondering that Milagro que Paula Abdul hasn't released a random single.
What's the single she had some years ago? The World Is Ending Dance? No, it had something to do with the end of the world and dancing.
All I want to do is dance like there's no tomorrow.
There
yes,
we go.
Yes, you were close. You were very close. I mean, honestly, I could see her confusing her own title and saying it that way. Oh, and I love Paula.
Vibology. What does vibology mean?
Well, it's a study of the chemistry between you and me.
SPELL bound.
Bam.
Okay. That was a little Paula Abdul corner.
Yes.
Okay. So,
little dance break.
So I'm going to vent.
By all means.
Prepárense.
By all means.
So I know we try not to get political here on the show, and we've strayed away from politics.
But sometimes news is news.
And sometimes there's certain things that you just can't let go of. And this is a topic that has been permeating for a couple of weeks. And
I don't know. I think it's been percolating because it seems like you've just been building.
And it's been simmering like tea.
Yeah. Un tilo.
And I've been like, are we going to talk about it? Are we not going to talk about it? Okay, we're going to talk about it. Politeness week is over. So I want to address the freaking people that have gone to Cuba on humanitarian
Let's go, because
visits.
I had this on my list too.
So
let's go.
There's so much I need to say. I need to compose myself.
I'm glad we went to a break first.
To all these people that are going to Cuba on humanitarian visits, not only is it tone deaf, but it is an insult to the misery of Cuban people. First of all, Cuba has been going through apagones, because that's what it is, for years and years and years that they don't have electricity, right? And these are the same people that keep saying that Cuba is the way it is because of the UN sanctions and the embargo. And whatever you may think of the embargo, right? The embargo doesn't stop free and fair elections. The embargo doesn't stop freedom of press. The embargo doesn't stop freedom of assembly and the right to protest. And to those people that think they're doing a great service by going and helping the Cuban people out now, where were you in July 11, 2021, when tens of thousands of people in Cuba protested and were jailed, many of them killed because they were speaking against the government? Where were you in the 90s when the Remolcador 13 de Marzo, which was a tugboat filled with people trying to leave Cuba, was sunk by the Cuban government, killing and drowning dozens of children? Where were you also during that time when the brothers from the rescue plane was shot down
on a humanitarian effort? And
the man who was in that plane was an American citizen. Where were you during all those atrocities, in addition to the daily just injustices and torture and misery that Cuban people go through, right? If you would actually sit down and listen to a Cuban and they tell you about their lived experience, maybe you wouldn't have such a tone-deaf attitude and be talking about things that you just don't know about, or things that you want to sort of manipulate to fit a bigger narrative. Your help, we could see through all of it. It is not sincere and it's self-serving. That's what I wanted to say. And that can be the real.
And remind people, I'm glad it works. That's going to be the real. Remind people again, what is this narrative that they always eventually fall back on?
Every single time, and I've had this discussion throughout years, every single time that you have one of these people defending the Cuban government or defending the Cuban socialism, whatever you want to call it, every single time they do that, it ends up with a grievance against the United States. And as I've always said, if you have a grievance against the U.S., fair enough. That is part of being an American. You could speak against your government. You could speak against the things you don't agree with.
But they can't.
You could do all those things. You could do all those things. And you know what? Maybe you have a legitimate grievance, and maybe you are talking about something that is unfair. The United States is not a perfect country. There's a lot of shit that we have done that is terrible and crap, and I don't agree with now and in the past historically. So yeah, you have a right to bring up whatever grievance you want. However, you also are shitting on the lived experience of millions of people on this point because you want to fit a bigger narrative. So in that narrative, the U.S., you need to paint the U.S. as a villain, and in doing so, defend a regime and defend a dictatorship, because the U.S. is going to be the villain in this story no matter what, right? That's what you're going to do. But in that, you are not taking in consideration the lived experience of millions of people that have been telling you this vocally for over 60 years.
No, but Darien, the thing is that's not number one, that's not what they want to hear. Number one. Number two, because that doesn't fit the narrative. Because then what have you specifically been told, okay, when you've said these things on the show and put it out there? The first thing that they come to is like, oh, that's because, you're sad that your family had to leave, your plantation and your riches and this and that. And it's like, I would love for you, Flotilla, now that you're in Cuba, please pass by Carlos Roja. I don't think it's changed much in the 40 years he's been here.
My parents lived in a wooden house.
Right.
Part of it had a dirt floor.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So by plantation,
and you know what's so funny? And you know what's so funny? Most of Cuba, with the exception of Havana and a few other places, most of Cuba had an agricultural society, which it was farmers and things like that. So there were people who were poor, widespread. Were of course. Were there injustices in Havana? Was there a shift, or was there definitely an inequity between rich and poor? Of course. Were those people most of the time white? Yes, of course. So that is definitely a reality to Havana. But first of all, slavery was outlawed, I believe, before in Cuba than it was in the U.S.
1800s. Right?
Yeah. Cuba didn't have any Jim Crow laws or anything like that. So again, you know, and obviously the racism is racism, and Cuba is plagued with it, and you know, has been for quite some time. But that's not what's at argument here, because that's what people want to bring up. They want to bring up whatever argument they need to bring up with to defend, to villainize the U.S. and in doing so defend the, you know, Cuba. I think it's incredible when they talk about healthcare. And it's like, clearly you have not had a family member in Cuba in the last 15, 20, 30 years, right? That has been in the hospital with a serious illness, because we have had to send bed sheets, bandages, syringes, basic supplies that any hospital would have. We've had to send it there. There was, when my mom's cousin was sick, she had cancer, my parents had to get them, I don't know how, they got them certain light bulbs for an x-ray machine that they had in a policlinico that they didn't have the light bulb, and I don't know how they sent the serial number, and my cousin was able to get it and track down los bombillos of the x-ray machine so they could send it to Cuba so they could do her mom an x-ray. Yeah, but the good thing is that the medical
everybody can read.
Care there, they could read, everybody, you know, but they can't read what they want, but they can. The literacy rate. Yeah.
It's so obnoxious to me, you know. Again, going back to these people on the flotilla, which is now also there was also an airplane, so didn't really flew. It saddens me because at the base of it, like, it's like you said, I can see through it, right? Because at the base of it, you know what? It should be a humanitarian effort, right? It should be that there are people in need. It is a country in need, the same way that we do for several countries across the world. Every time there's something happening, we send money, we donate, there's an earthquake, etc. It should be that, but it's tainted. It is a humanitarian effort disguised as,
you know what I want to know?
As
that they're trying to help out the people, but they're trying to push a narrative.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what saddens me the most about this, is that it's a humanitarian effort. It's something else masquerading as a humanitarian effort. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I said it backwards. And it's an agenda. It's an agenda masquerading as a humanitarian effort.
That's a good way of putting it.
That's just so wrong. And they would be the first ones to criticize other people doing the exact same thing.
And what I think, and I've said this before a million times, I did a video actually on Pero Let Me Tell You some years ago that went viral, and I'll say it again. We are told over and over and over again that we have to listen to people's lived experience. We have to listen to the lived experience of people of color, of gay people, of trans people, of women. That was the whole Me Too movement of abuse. Rightfully so, we have to listen to their lived experience and to their stories, because that's how you learn, and that's how you really understand the root of the problem and what people go through in their everyday lives, right? Yep. You have to listen to people's lived experience. But for some reason, when it comes down to Cuba and the problems in Cuba, you have at this point millions of people exiled and on the island telling you,
and you're saying no,
what is going on, and you're telling them no, that's not what it is.
That's not what it is.
So it's like, okay, so our lived experience doesn't count, right? Yeah. Our lived experience doesn't matter because it doesn't fit the agenda and the narrative that you are trying to sell. So I get it. I see it. And all these people, this Code Pink and this other guy, Hassan, he's a big influencer. I know, I've seen him before. I wonder where they're staying.
Oh, they're staying at 5-star hotels.
Are they staying in a nice hotel?
Of course they are.
With electricity and air conditioning?
Generators and everything. Oh,
yeah. Are they? Oh, okay.
They're not staying in Medio Monte.
I would love to.
With the Guajiros.
I would love to invite them to Carlos Roja.
That would be great. You want to experience Cuba? Go experience Cuba.
Yeah, Carlos Roan, where my parents are from.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's just infuriating. It's infuriating. It's infuriating. And look, we don't talk here about politics. We don't talk about Trump. We chose not to. Everybody knows I am not a fan of Trump. I've been very critical of him. I've campaigned against him, so on and so forth. We don't need to get into that. But saying that the problem that's going on in Cuba is because of Trump and his administration's policies.
Willful ignorance.
It's willful ignorance, and it's delegitimized the struggle that people have gone through in 67 years. Cuba is not the way it is because of Trump or his policies. Cuba is the way it is because it's a dictatorship and it's a regime. That is why. And also for the people that are going on and on and on about the embargo, because I made the case that, the embargo doesn't stop certain rights in Cuba, which it doesn't. Right. Cuba
they trade with other
trades
people.
with Spain, with Europe, with a bunch of other countries.
Why is it only us?
A bunch of other countries, because I could understand if there was the embargo was like, no one in the world can trade with Cuba.
Right.
Okay, that argument. That's different. That's different. But Cuba trades with half of the world.
Well, wait a minute. Wait. Let me amend your statement. Cuba trades with half the world when they can because Cuba is bad at paying back because they don't pay their debts. So therefore, why would I trade with you?
There are actually certain things they still trade with the U.S. and the embargo. And I'm not a fan of the embargo. I'm not defending the embargo.
I don't think the embargo has done anything.
But also, I'm not stupid enough to know that the problems in Cuba are because of the embargo.
Yeah,
exactly. One of the clauses in the embargo states that you can have humanitarian aid is exempt from the embargo, right? So yeah, it's shocking to me how people, and this I have said a million times, how people take these huge stands on things without knowing, by listening to an influencer or by retweeting something on Twitter or stuff like that. It's just incredible to me, because damn it, if I'm going to go ahead and take a big stand on something,
I'm going to look into it.
I'm going to read and read and read and read and read until I can't read no more, right? Read from different perspectives, even if it's something that I know nothing about, right? Because I also understand that if you're not Cuban or even Latino, you don't know about what's going on in Cuba. Like, there's a million things going on in the world that we don't know about. Right?
It's not,
or we don't know so detailed about. So obviously we go into this subject knowing more than most people and with a personal bias. I get that. But I mean, come on.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they're taking 43 solar panels. I can't wait to see los cubanos trying to los paneles solares.
They're taking 43 solar
panels.
That's going to solve the problem in Cuba?
All of it.
You would have thought they took more.
Well, if the embargo, they would have taken more. Whatever. The embargo's blocking the sun.
Whatever.
It's funny though that you brought that up.
I got that off my chest. I feel better now.
I'm glad you feel better, but I wanted to bring up something really quick though, that it's just because you brought up that whole subsect of humanity, and I saw a study recently that's and they kind of tend to overlap. It says people who dye their hair in unnatural shades show higher rates of mental instability. And so new research suggests that dyeing hair in bright, unnatural shades like blue, pink, green, or purple may sometimes reflect deeper emotional struggles rather than just a fashion choice. The study found a notable link between unconventional hair colors and higher levels of self-reported mental instability. Researchers analyzed data from over 18,000 OkCupid users, discovering that those unnatural hair colors reported higher rates of depression and related mental health challenges. And I just had to bring that up because you were saying like code pink and this and that, and I'm like, it's always these people with like purple hair. It's always like, it's never somebody with mousy brown hair and pigtails.
You know what really pisses me off? And I'm not going to get into it because I'm not.
But he's going to touch on it.
But it really pisses me off. Being neurodivergent is a reality for a lot of people. And it's it's something that hits close to home for me. And it is a very serious and very, very taxing situation for the person and the family. And it's something that requires a substantial amount of medical care of both psychological, psychiatric, and medical, right? And it's just sort of offensive to me how this is coming from someone who has personal ties with this. How there's so many people now who label themselves neurodivergent, but they've never seen a doctor. They label themselves neurodivergent because they found something on Twitter. Oh, if you're this, and this, you're neurodivergent.
That's the diagnosis.
And maybe you are. Maybe you are.
Yeah, but the problem is
but that is sort of trivializing.
Well, there's that. But then also it's that stance of like, I don't need somebody to tell me what I've got. Mm-hmm. Well, sometimes you do.
Yeah. Sometimes especially since there's so many things.
Right. And it could lead you to getting actual help.
Yeah. But that we won't get into that.
Yeah. But yeah, I saw that and I was like, yeah, I just want to sneak that in there with talking about these people.
I have here on my notes. I don't know why. I said, bring up waterbeds.
Bring up waterbeds?
I don't know why. I had a waterbed. You remember my waterbed?
You did.
When I got my agua. My waterbed was from Waterbed City, the one in the Palmetto.
Well, of course.
Which is now the Christmas. No, now it's Rana Furniture.
It's not City Furniture anymore?
No, that hasn't been City Furniture. Well, Waterbed City turned into City Furniture. Yeah. But the one that we bought it from off the Palmetto, the building is still there. Look, it's a Rana Furniture now.
Oh, at least it's still furniture.
It used to be, I think, the Christmas Palace. Then it was Rana Furniture. Oh. After it was Waterbed City.
So many changes.
I remember I thought we were so cool because we had a waterbed.
They were cool.
They were. And the thing was that my brother and I both had water beds, but the thing with water beds is that they take a lot of space.
I was going to say, how did you fit two of them in that room?
They fit. That's when my grandmother got her own room.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. No, they fit, but they take a lot of space.
Because it's the embargo.
Yeah.
Then you have to have it elevated.
I actually think they were really comfortable. I loved it. Look, they're not nice.
They're not practical.
They're just not nice. They don't look nice.
Well, you can never really. I mean, you thought it was a bitch putting a fitted sheet, folding it, put it on that thing.
Yeah, they're not nice. They look, but they're. I like them.
They're relaxing.
Yeah,
they're very relaxing.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't have a waterbed now with a 12-year-old.
Oh no.
There would have already been a tsunami in my house.
And your house that de vez en cuando the plumbing leaks.
The flood.
My God. No. You already had one mold situation.
Yeah, no, we don't need more. But yeah, waterbeds. We miss them.
I'm surprised there aren't like motels on La Ocho that still have them.
Maybe there are.
Junior, do you think there's motels on La Ocho that still have waterbeds? And would you be willing to go do an investigative report?
En esos lugares de relajo, yo no voy. Okay.
I love that those places always tell you that they have free HBO.
Do you know what to me is the most iconic motel, at least here in Miami? El Motel Jamaica.
Oh, for me,
it's the Jamaica one. Don't you think so, Junior?
I think it's one of the executive no sé qué, whichever that they would show those commercials with the heart.
Those are the ones that have like the theme.
Heart hot tubs.
The executive one is the one by the airport.
That one has different themes.
Yes.
There's the jungle room.
The Egyptian one where you could be a pharaoh.
Right, as one does.
My friend's band in high school were called Jamaica Motel. So,
are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, it was after that, obviously.
Kudos.
Yeah.
Kudos.
I remember in the 90s they killed someone there.
Hey, all right.
But I think it was like a drug something.
Well, I mean, La Ocho in the 90s at those motels.
Come on.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then there's the Miami Princess Motel.
Yes. And then they started making them where it's on the second level and you park underneath.
I'll never forget. You were the one who told me this because I mean, I'm very sort of naive and gullible for certain things.
As astute and quick as you are for certain things, there are certain like just very obvious things that just.
When I lived in downtown, and my office obviously is in Hialeah on 16th Avenue, I would take from downtown. I would take I-95 north to the 112. And the 112 is what connects I-95 to Okeechobee. So then I would take Okeechobee up to 16th Avenue. So I would take a really big stretch of Okeechobee. And Okeechobee is lined with all these motels. And I remember, I would drive by there in the morning, right? And I remember mentioning it to you. Yeah. Like, I'm like, hey, I don't know why when I'm going to work, I see so many women like walking on the sidewalk with like dresses, like fancy dresses and whatever.
Deal.
And you're like, dude, those are prostitutes. And I was like, really? Like I was like,
you're in their work environment. You're at their office at that point.
Because I remember I kept seeing them.
Yeah.
I'm like, I imagine that's when they were getting out.
Of course.
When they were finishing.
Yeah, they're like reverse vampires. When the sun comes out, they leave.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was like, really? That's what it is? Like, I was like,
the cops asking you, have you seen any prostitutes or sex workers walking around here and stuff? No, I saw a fashion show happening. Very nice dressed women. Ahí en la, I don't.
It's a runway. I don't know.
That would have never.
Catwalk ahí, no sé.
It would have never dawned on me.
Never. So despitado.
But that is what I love about you.
Never.
Oblivious innocence.
As smart as he is about certain things, like those are like the blind spots, and the blind spots are wonderful because they're just so like, really.
I was like, and it wasn't one, it wasn't two, it was like every day I would see, I'm like, I bet why there's so many women here in like high heels, like walking in the sidewalk.
And they probably all know each other, so they're probably all talking to
A
each
las
other.
10 de la mañana, Okeechobee, like
Of all places.
Of all places, like what's going on here? Oh, and once you told me that, I could never unsee it.
Yes. Ellas estaban en el relajo.
I'll never forget that there was this little bar there that sold ribs, and it said cervezas frías y mujeres lindas.
Oh, that's nice.
They had that sign there up for years.
Yeah, I'm sure they were in business longer than the one across the street that said cerveza caliente y mujer fea.
Those were half off.
Yeah, it was always happy hour there.
Free HBO.
Yeah, exactly.
Pero free HBO.
And cold AC.
They all advertise free HBO as if they're like that's what you were going in there for.
Imagine if you were to go. That would have made sense.
Hold on, I'm here to have sex, but let's watch the latest episode of Entourage.
But you know what though? If you were gonna watch an HBO event, something that was gonna be aired on HBO, what was cheaper, renting the room for 2 hours or having to apply for HBO?
Okay, that is fair. And now I'm sad we never did that. Because if we could have totally done that for the girly show.
For any concert.
No, but it would have been perfect.
For any concert,
the girly
right?
show.
And any of the like concerts or paper, like boxing,
event,
all that they used to do on HBO. Like
you show up with a platter.
Yeah, you would have to sign up for HBO, go and get la caja, and that shit was like 60. That shit was like close to $100. How much are these rooms by the hour?
Well, I don't know now. But I mean, maybe like $25 an hour or something.
It's a bargain.
It is a bargain.
And you get a place where you could watch it in.
The only thing is they probably have a limit on how many people can be in the room.
Oh, they do?
Well, there's relajo and then there's relajo.
So where do you go have relajo?
Well, that you have to have money for relajo. That's P. Diddy level. Like that's
that's an Airbnb.
That's an Airbnb. Yeah. That's actually, and even they have the cameras on. They'll monitor.
Airbnb has cameras.
Most Airbnbs have cameras in the houses, in the public areas at least.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
But not inside the house.
Well, some of them will have it like in the living room.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, then again, I've never rented an Airbnb.
No, but you've been in an Airbnb.
I'm not an Airbnb person. Okay. You are.
But you've been in an Airbnb with us.
Yeah, so, I have. I'm not an Airbnb person.
I love it.
No, I'd rather stay in a hotel. I like the hotel experience.
I know. I like being in a house where I can just wander.
What do you like, Junior?
I typically try to stay with a friend first and foremost. Okay. So I don't care if it's air mattress, sofa or a waterbed. Any of them, I try to stay with family or friends first, and then if not, I lean towards Airbnb. I like the home experience and whatever.
It's nice to feel like you're like in a house, you're homey.
Yeah. I love going to the hotel lobby.
I know. There's people there.
Nah. Or the hotel pool and spa.
Yeah, but then
lazy river.
But if you get a place that has your own pool, then you don't have to share it with anybody.
But you're gonna find an Airbnb that has a lazy river.
No.
Well,
I think not. Or
some Airbnbs are actually like timeshares and all of that, so they're in some of these buildings, so you get the best of both worlds there.
It's like
you know what I would love to speak to somebody about, an expert.
God,
I would love to speak to them about timeshares. Why do people get timeshares? Everybody knows it's a terrible investment.
Still do that?
Yes.
Is that still a
yes.
thing?
And do you know that timeshare litigation is a huge area of litigation?
Really?
Yes. I remember I thought about getting into that years ago to get people out of timeshares because there was 2 people. I got them out of their timeshares. And I was like, oh, this is a thing. Yeah.
Was it hard to get them out of their timeshare?
It wasn't. Like, it took a while, but I was able to get them out.
It was complicated, but not hard.
Yeah. Like, because especially once upon a time in my life that I had the financial means and the time, I would travel a lot, right? And I even thought about, like, maybe I should get a timeshare. And I looked into it. Like, I really looked into it. And nothing made sense to me.
It doesn't make sense.
Like, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just looking at the wrong timeshare company. Okay, let me look at Hilton. Nope. Let me look at this one. I'm like, this makes absolutely no sense to me.
What am I buying? Nothing.
You're not buying anything.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't have anything tangible.
I have nothing to own.
It's like, but you pay so much money for it.
Right.
And then you have to pay maintenance.
And you only get to use it 1 week a year.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, the resort you want to go to is always booked. You can't do it last minute. You have to book it like a year or 2 in advance.
You have to fix the schedule for everybody else.
And everybody knows I book my vacations like 2 days before. But anyway, my proudest moment was when I booked my trip to Australia literally the month before. And that trip was 3.5 weeks and it was perfect. Like, moment by moment.
I'm going to say the moment that I still look back on as, like, you pulled that one out of your ass was the time that we went to go see Robbie in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Because you had completely forgotten to book the airfare like a day and a half before.
Yeah, but here we are.
And you went. That's what I'm saying. That's why, to me, that is your coup de grace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He offered me protection.
Yeah, well, battle of that affection.
Anyway.
He's living here now. So I expect fully one day to bump into him getting a pub sub. Well, it's not going to be at a bar.
Robbie Williams will probably like the chicken tender sub.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, anyway, we're thirsty.
Yes, it's soda time.
Go. Welcome to you.
He set me up so well.
Soda time.
He's like, go.
Soda time.
Go. All right, so my last soda, I kind of mentioned it earlier. I'm going to go ahead and give my last soda to the audiobook that I'm listening to, The Last Action Heroes. That thing is like 12 hours long. I don't even think I'm halfway through. But like I said, it's telling the story of all these 80s and 90s action heroes narrated by Bronson Pinchot. But it's framing it around the rivalry of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. So it's like, it starts with Stallone, then Schwarzenegger, then it goes into somebody else and how they were interconnected, and then it goes back to them and their movies and then somebody else. And it's been really fascinating because, again, these are people who, we grew up with and who I always watch their movies, but I can't say I ever actually knew.
Is Steven Seagal part of that bunch?
He's going to be, he's part of that. So it's Bruce Willis.
How do we make him an action hero?
I don't know. He's in Russia with Rick Sanchez now. I don't know.
He's in Russia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a Russian citizen.
Sure.
Yeah, as one does. And he was married to Kelly LeBrock, who was gorgeous in her day. Where was I going with this? So yeah, no, it's on. I'm listening to it on Spotify. It's an audiobook. It's, it's perfect to put just in the background and listen to it. But I find it really interesting, and it's fascinating to me how these people are so interconnected, even from before they became famous. It's like Jean-Claude Van Damme somehow met Chuck Norris, and Chuck Norris felt bad that he was homeless, and so he let him live in like his guest house and gave him a job. And then one of his first jobs was, he was originally going to be the Predator in Predator, and he met Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he was only on the set for like 2 days. And it's like they're all interconnected, and it's just fascinating to me how like this all just weaves itself into like our childhood, basically, So,
and Bruce Willis is in there.
I haven't gotten to Bruce yet. But
It's funny. Yes. Die Hard is one of my favorite movies.
Yes.
And he was incredible in the Die Hard franchise. When I think of those action heroes, I don't think of Bruce Willis.
I get what you're saying, but the thing is that Bruce Willis is the linchpin between those action heroes and the people who are doing action movies now. Because Bruce Willis was first and foremost an actor who did action movies. Mm-hmm. And that's what we have now. We don't have action, like, you have your Vin Diesels and all that, but you don't have action heroes in that same mold that we used to have.
I don't know if maybe because I first saw him on Moonlighting.
That'll do it.
But, and again, I mean, Die Hard is an action movie.
100%.
But I when I think of that realm, I don't necessarily think of him first. It makes sense to put him there. Right. And I get it. On paper, yes.
Right.
But I don't think of him with the Arnolds and the.
It's because he plays the harmonica.
Huh?
Because he plays the harmonica.
Yeah. So okay, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yes.
So I'm giving my last soda this week is a little strange. So I guess my last soda is to Luck and Gratitude.
In that order?
Yeah, sure. I was watching a lot of content this week on South Sudan. So South Sudan is the world's youngest country. I think 2010 or 2012. And it was all Sudan, and then they had a war, and the South became independent. So it's a separate country. So I've been looking at a lot of content about South Sudan, and it's such horrible living conditions. Oh. The country has absolutely no infrastructure. It doesn't really have a functional working government, and it's run by gangs and thugs, and that terrorize the villages and stuff like that. They have a lot of floods there, and it's horrible all around. Like, people don't. It's actually the most dangerous place in the world for aid workers, because the UN is there and all that. Yeah. People don't really have houses. They live in like makeshift something or others. Yeah. And they interviewed this kid who he spoke some English, and he was selling t-shirts, and he was saying how he loved Justin Bieber and like Usher and all that. And they asked him, "Oh, would you ever want to go to the United States or to Europe?" And he's like, "There isn't any way for me to go there." And it's like these people have like no, like, how do you even get out of that? Yeah. Right. And it's just it's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible because there's a lot of places in the world that have a lot of turmoil, but there's some type of infrastructure. Right. There's like a hospital, and there's like, shopping. I mean, there's something. There's something. There's community. There's nothing there. It's like they live in like mud pits, sort of, because there's a lot of a lot of flooding there. Yeah. But anyway, the point is that it's like, man, that's one of those things that, like, I know you can't let this overwhelm you because there's a lot of problems in the world. So you can't let that overwhelm you. But it's one of those things that, man, when we start complaining about like stupid shit, it's like, oh,
could always be worse.
Check yourself. Yeah. Check yourself and your, privilege, because like, it's like, man, at least I'm not living there. Because the thing with there is that even Cuba, with how bad Cuba is, like, Cuba has some sort of infrastructure, and people from Cuba for a long time can somehow get out. One way or another. Yeah. But people there's nowhere for them to get out. It's a landlocked country. Like, there's no pathway for them to go anywhere. Jeez. Right? So how do you get out of there? And it's really bad. So that like, I was watching content about it for like 3 days.
3 days?
Yeah. Well, you know me, now I'm like really into Bangladesh and the water taxis, but that's a whole other conversation for a whole other day. Oh my God, have you seen the water taxis in Bangladesh? No. They put like 1,000 people on those things. Like, they're literally hanging off the water taxi.
Like the trains in India?
Sort of. But the ferry equivalent. Okay. And I love the comment. There was one that cracked me up. They were like, man, I'm never going to complain about the Staten Island ferry again. So, yeah. So, perspective, gratitude, luck, all that. So,
should buy one of those.
So, I mean, I do it all the time. You do it. We all do it. We complain about mundane little things. But, there are a lot of problems with the world. So, anyway, that's a great kicker to end it up in. So,
well, yeah. Luck and gratitude. I like it.
So. Anyway, with that said, we hope you listen, laughed, and learn. And remember, grab your pastelito, your croqueta, and your soda. Yeah. Your soda. Or your cup of water. And have a great week, everybody. See you next week.
All right,